Go.
No, dogs.
Hey there. I'm so happy to hang out with Amy today. Amy from That Witchy One, Amy Smith on Instagram, which is how I found her and immediately knew she was like soul sister vibe. So thanks for coming.
Oh, I am beyond excited. So excited.
Yeah, I don't even know. I think it was like maybe a month ago or something like that where I first saw your videos. So, you just have a very similar approach to how you communicate your messages that are very much similar to me. And then you said you had readings available. So I just booked it, even though I didn't need a reading. I just wanted to talk to you. So I'm grateful for connecting with you last week.
Great. I loved how we clicked and we were like straight in. And I had to keep, oh, okay, we're doing a reading. And then we are talking about life. I was like, no, back to the reading. It
Yeah,
was like kindred spirits.
right.
We both had the same, oh, and then there's this. And we
Yeah.
were linking it all together. I love nothing more. Sorry, this is my dog trying to join in on the podcast. I love nothing more than when you meet a soul and you can get straight into the nitty gritty
Hmm.
in a really honest way. And you
Yeah.
get to speak so freely. And actually, you forget that that's not the case all the time, or it hasn't been the case until you've got to a certain
Hmm.
part. We were
Hmm.
like straight in there. Like, I'll show you how witchy I am. You show me how witchy you are. Let's go.
I know. And even the similar ways in which we tap in and how we get images were very similar too.
I love that because it's quite a lonely path. I put myself out there and I think I always have done on and off throughout my life. But you think you're the only one sometimes
Hmm.
that works in a certain way. Then when you meet someone else, you see those things too.
Yeah.
And it's like in such a grounded way.
Hmm.
Um, it every time I connect with a soul who just gets it, it heals a part of me. It's like, ah.
Hmm.
Don't have to hide. There are other people that totally get it and
Yeah.
totally won't take advantage of it as well. It's like, I get it. I see it. I love you for it. Let's go.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and I can't remember exactly the first video that I saw of yours, but the one that spoke the clearest to me was the one that you said it was titled "You and What Army," and you didn't say any words, but you just did gestures the whole time. And I was like, she is, she, she is me.
Yeah.
It was so funny, just like all of it, and like the fact that you happily, curse and give the finger, like that's like so spot on for like,
There's so much magic and a good curse word,
yeah.
or as we say, a swear word.
Hmm.
Very naughty if you say swear words. I find it delightful. If you slip the F bomb, I haven't actually asked you, can we swear on this or not? Do we
Yeah,
not swear? Okay, cool. Fucking
I
great.
don't. I
So
do.
I there's so much power in the swear. One of my favorite comedians is Billy Connolly. Have you heard of him? He's
No.
Scottish and he's delightful when you hear him swear. His comedy is amazing. Um, but he really stands behind the F word and the power that it can evoke.
Hmm.
And it can also summon, it can evoke, it can tell people to like go away. But
Hmm.
you know what you're saying. There's so much sauce that's adds on to it. I'm so up for swearing. I mean, like this can be back off, but also it can be like to your best friend. I love you. Like ride or die, you and me. Like there's
It's so
so much power in it. And I always, do you know what? I can clear a room energetically by just saying fuck off.
yeah.
Like
Yeah. No, just no. Yeah.
just absolutely fucking not. Let's not do that. We're not. And actually, before is my dog really annoying?
No,
Can
I
you
don't.
hear
I
him?
hardly hear it. No.
Oh, that's good. Before I suppose used to take it a lot more seriously throughout my life when I wasn't as tuned in or I wasn't as in my witchy parts.
Hmm.
If I'd walk into a space and I'd feel like a spirit or an energetics, it was straight away fuck off, and I'd carry on walking. And like, not today, sir.
Right.
Nope. And then I kept on walking, but it was that boundary, that boom. Um, and I use swear words a lot in spell work, like especially detachments or protection spells.
Hmm.
You
That's
add some of that hot sauce on there
yeah.
because it's power. It's like poetry that's coming from that really raw part of your soul.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I
it's
had a
floating.
cool experience with my oldest when she was 10. She broke her front tooth, and it was a permanent front tooth. Like she chipped it, but then it was broken all the way up into the root. And I was just like, oh no, like this can't be. And it was, it was like all in an afternoon, and I was sending her a bunch of Reiki. I called all my friends, was like, send Reiki to her. We can't have this. It's too much drama to repair. And the next day they took a picture of it on the x-ray, and they're like, it's not broken, but it was broken yesterday. And I was like, yeah, you know, and but my teacher, she's like, it wasn't it, yeah, it was great that you had everyone praying for her and stuff, but it was you saying, no, we can't have this, that like undid it. I was like, okay, I'll take that. Like I love that kind of fierce raw power of just like
You know,
mothers lifting cars, you know.
I this is I was thinking about actually, and there was something I did want to talk about, like the witch's way, and it relates to that a little bit as well, actually quite hugely. It is a witch is different, I feel, to a lot of different energetic workers
Mm-hmm.
or in their gifts because they have that rawness.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to, one of the biggest things I have to encourage
111. There it is
is
again.
behave. One of the biggest things I have to encourage in myself and in others is to allow that rawness. We are that we have a witch's way has that bitterness to us.
Mm-hmm.
That sweat, you know how you say how I swear. We have that woven within us.
Mm-hmm.
We are the love and light, we're the fire and spice, we're the sweat and the moss, we're the blood and the rocks. We're that combination of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we aren't just all love. I'm going to let my dog in, aren't I? Can you hear him?
No,
He is furious the fact that I've locked him out. He's like, where the witch is at?
you can
Two
let him
seconds.
in.
I'm going to
Yeah.
come. 2 seconds. Okay. He's in. We are all of it. And we have to allow ourselves to embrace that, to unlock ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Yeah.
mama bear
And that's,
energy, that
and not
fire,
be too polite and too,
no,
yeah, right.
no.
Yeah.
Like we wouldn't have to say a word, we wouldn't have to lift a finger.
Mm-hmm.
We have to know that energetic within ourselves to be able to work that and weave that. That's
Mm-hmm.
how we weave the intentions. That's how we pull forward. That's how we release. That's how we work. And then by embracing that, and then ripples out throughout different parts of your life. Actually, no, this boundary isn't going to be crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I could apply myself here. Actually, no, my gut's saying no. Why do I keep letting them in when my gut's going
Yeah.
no?
Mm-hmm.
Mama bear energy
Yeah.
when she's in witch mode. Oh my gosh, like how you just said with your daughter.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're not having any broken bones, no broken teeth. They're just gonna mend themselves, okay?
Yeah.
Like that energetics, I just find so beautifully powerful because it is all of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. There's a rune, isn't there? I don't know if it's the one that's connected to water, the ice one, and about how it's water, it's ice, it's hailstone, it's all these different parts of it, and that's it's one of my favorite runes to go into. It escapes me now, but I'll come back to it later. And one of the stories which is linked to it is like the hailstone when it lands in the earth. It
Mm-hmm.
as this these hailstorms used to be petrifying, these rocks of ice that came down from the sky, and they'd shred all the leaves, they'd bang on all the shelters, they'd
Mm-hmm.
destroy the landscape. But as they landed, they'd leave these welts in the earth where when they melted, it created like the perfect place to like put seeds. It was water. It
Oh,
was
right. Yeah.
so we are all of that,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yeah.
I love.
That
I
rawness
love.
of connecting the earth and the heavens, like that's what witches are. And I only just got comfortable with the word witch probably in the last 5 years because I was
Yeah.
raised Catholic, and my dad was very much instilling fear about that kind of stuff. So yeah, I was curious, how long have you been embracing that witchy title?
I would say probably 5, 6 years where I embraced it more fully. I've always loved me a witch. I've always loved the energetics, always. And I've gone through calling myself everything, a psychic medium, a medium, all these different variations of
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
I've been told not to refer myself as a witch. Don't do that. It's not
Mhm.
professional enough, or not this, or not that. People are scared of it. It gives them the wrong thing. There's still lots of places in the world where you don't want to be referred to. Your life could literally be in danger from
Right.
it still.
Right.
But it's literally, to me, the word is everything. It is all the different ways that we interact. We are that middle person.
Yeah. It's like
All
when I
the
learned
servers.
it's basically a woman in her power who knows how to manipulate energy. I was like, oh,
Mm.
I guess I'm a witch. Sure.
And
Call me that.
form, it is literally that. But we have been taught to fear it. We've
Hmm.
been taught that it's a bad word to be referred to as. Um, and it took a while to get really comfortable with it.
Hmm.
No, the reason I'm that witchy one, Amy Smith, because everyone goes, Amy, that witchy one.
Hmm.
Everyone's calling me anyway. And then I just thought, what if I just embraced it? Because you know what I am. But I think as well, films and movies and books and like modern day witchcraft has put a different essence on it.
Hmm.
I feel like I'm trying to connect with my rawness and bring that rawness to the table again.
Yeah. And it's so refreshing and it makes it relatable and it's like so needed, like I was watching oh God, I can't remember the name of the movie. It was from 20 years, 25 years ago. Sixth Sense, where the kid is like, I see dead people, right? So I saw that movie back in 1999, and then I was rewatching it with my family a few years ago. And like the whole thing was so like secretive. Like when he was trying to like meet with mediums, they literally went down like a back alley and were like whispering. And like I was like, oh my God, like we've come so far in the last 25 years in this community of like we're no longer in back alleys in secret.
Yeah. It's we have come really far,
Hmm.
but also I know that there's lots of people who support me but wouldn't in person say that they support me in the witchy ways. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, there's still like a guard.
Connection of yeah. We've come a lot further than having to hide, be like, come in here, let me read your tea leaves.
Hmm.
Um, but there is still a lot of stigma, yet we are still the person that people come to when in
Hmm.
need, when needing to connect the dots.
Hmm.
Um, and I do that quite loudly. I open up and I get scared and I close it down again. I open up and it's that witch's wound of being seen, being burnt. I think I've been a witch in every lifetime and I've been burnt for it in every lifetime. So then in this time I'm like, oh, this is the first time I've been out and out and I'm like, I'm not shutting those doors again.
Yeah,
I'm out. But it's because I would link a lot about how people would have conversations with me in private, but then they wouldn't support me in the public.
yeah.
Mm.
Well,
My husband's now home.
is that why the dog's crying?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, I've
Honestly.
never because my storefront is like very much, witchy, esoteric or whatever, big moon magic. If there's a witch on the door. And there's a client of mine who I remember watching, like I was running behind. The door was open, but I was still with the client. But it's a guy, mostly I work on women, but it was a guy and he was walking and looking in and like walking past. Like I could tell that he was nervous about being seen walking into my store. You know what I mean? Like it's just very funny. So,
Yeah,
but you started your Instagram like what, a year ago or something? And then it just like
yeah.
took off. Like,
So I'm going to say this time last year, I had it just for the close friends and family who I knew,
mm-hmm,
like who knew of me and have always supported me, and they just follow me and I'll do my little things. I had a lot of followers before, then I shut it all down.
mm-hmm,
Not as many of this that I have now.
mm-hmm,
I probably had about, I kid you not, about 80,
mm-hmm.
and now I've got 17.2 in a year,
Yeah,
which has brought a lot of waves,
yeah.
which I'm working through because this is all I've ever dreamed of. This is all I've ever wanted is
Mm-hmm.
to have a family, to be seen, to allow others to be seen and have a space where I can speak freely. And others, I love how everyone interacts in the comments and they all
Yeah.
support each other. And if it's someone's birthday, everyone's going, Happy birthday.
It,
Like,
yeah, it seems like you've like the right people have shown up, but I haven't like studied, your comments at length. Do you have people that are jerks come at you at all?
I've had one or two people tell me that I'm connected to Satan.
Yeah, I figured you
Um,
probably did.
that's kind of it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I went to a Catholic school and I can throw in Bible verses when I want to. Like
Oh,
it's yeah.
yeah.
But that's something I've kind of always had and always dealt with because that's one of the fears which is connected to kind of my lineage, I suppose. I expect religious people to come and find me, but apart from that, literally one or two, not really. I put myself out there in a way that where I wanted to be guided. So I really listened to the whispers, as I call them, that come in.
Hmm.
Even if I don't feel like I am entirely confident sometimes about posting things because it's so raw and it can be so out there. Um, and I've just my crew on there, the toes, chin, and wings babes and dudes are just the best.
Yeah,
And I've got to meet so many of you guys, like in the last week, and I'm like, everyone. I'm learning so much about me.
yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, it's I'm not sure where this ride's gonna go, but I it's one of the best chapters of my life so far. It really is.
It's like super cool. And it's like a side hustle for you doing the Instagram page and doing the energy healing work because you said you're primarily
Yeah.
a physical therapist, right?
Yeah. So I'm a PT, a personal
Hmm.
trainer.
Oh, personal trainer.
So
Sorry. Yeah.
personal trainer. Yeah. So I work with a lot of women, getting them really strong and
Hmm.
confident
Hmm.
and just towards their physical goals, which is, you're a PT, it isn't just the physical goals. There's
Right.
so much more to it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Um,
Lots of layers.
yeah. So I weave this into life, but it's always been something, it's always been a home space I've come back to. Like my whole life, it's always been something I've returned to. And if I need to connect with myself, it has to be I come back to the magic, I come back to soul.
Hmm.
If I get lost, I have to come back home and ground and connect with myself. Because I've been doing readings forever for like over 20 years.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, like, were you, like as a kid, were you always open or did you get shut down? Did something wake you back up later?
I have been open. I only realized when I was older that I was open from very young, and it made
Hmm.
a lot of sense. I had an imaginary friend called Tom,
Hmm.
but he was a 14-year-old boy who transitioned. He had cancer. I could tell you what medication he was on, like
Yeah.
not the standard. I always, I could, I just knew what adults meant. I knew what the room was. I knew how to work with nature. I could take myself off into these worlds and have conversations with plants. I used to love toads and frogs. I should just like collect them and make them little rounds, and I'd sit there and be with them. And my granddad was quite magical as well, especially when it came to nature and being outside. He had this big fish pond which was surrounded by fairy lights, which just at night came alive.
That's cool.
Um, so I've always had it. I haven't always been open to it. There's times where it's gotten overwhelming. One instance is when I was pregnant,
Oh,
both times. It become like you've got your energetics and your child's and
yeah.
it like tenfold. And I can remember thinking, no, I'm shutting this down for a bit, dulled it right down. There's been times where people have told me that I'm unhinged, and stuff like that, and it's really gotten to me and I've shut it down. There's been times where um like it's not been encouraged, and
Hmm.
they've just caught me on a day where I just absorbed that. So then I shut it down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But it's always been in me. I've always had, it used to be an old Jack Daniels tin that used to have my oracle in there and some crystals. I always had that. Now I've got like a whole house near
Yeah.
enough. It's
Yeah.
just magical stuff that I obviously really need, all of it.
Right.
Um, but it's always been there. And my friends and family who truly know me know that. It's always been there. Like my mum now, she's got it's definitely in my bloodline, my magic. But there is fear of it. So there's encouraging of what she knows, but she's quite fearful of what she doesn't know. And that's her journey, and that's fine. I know I'm quite safe in my practice and the way that I walk.
Are you
But yeah,
aware
no.
of any grandmothers, great grandmothers that did work like that you do?
I know that my mum's intuition and her gifts of foresight are second to none. My grandma had it as well, and her mum, who
Mm,
was very religious, but no one would cross her in church
right.
because they knew. Like, no.
Yeah.
She was like, she swore with her eyes, don't you dare.
Yeah.
My daughters, my youngest in particular, like I'd let them they can work their way through life, and if they want to learn stuff from me, they can. I
Right.
don't push anything.
No,
But
like
my youngest is yeah. I just let you find your way, like I had to, and then I'll be there for
right.
whatever. My
when
youngest is the
when
most gifted card reader.
that's what I was going to ask you, like when they were younger, like now I know that you said like they're like elementary, high school aged or whatever, like right. Um,
Mhm.
but when they were very little, did they just say things and have an awareness of different things?
My eldest did.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she has my mediumship side.
Hmm.
Which can be partnered I've learned can be partnered when someone who's got a lot of anxiety as well. So there's a few when she was younger, I can remember being at a friend's house and her friend had a basement and she was crying at the door saying, there's a baby down there, there's a baby down
Oh
there.
my gosh.
Like hysterics, there's someone down there, mummy, there's someone down there. And I remember going, okay, let's just move you away from the door.
Yeah.
She's and it's interesting. I used to have this fear of going upstairs. I think the energetics change. You're not around people. You're more psychically
Exposed.
able to be
Yeah.
connected with, exposed.
Yeah.
I'd never told her about this, and I can remember at my grandma's house, like, I'd run up there and I'd near enough levitate down because I'd go so fast because I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And she started doing that. I don't want to go upstairs, mummy. It just feels different. And she'd become worried about going upstairs. And I was like, ah, oh,
Yeah.
that's something. Actually, remember sharing a video about that. And there was quite a few people who come forward who had the same thing as well, stairs and going
Interesting.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool. Did they have any past life memories when they were little?
No, I don't think so. I think if anyone was to come forward with it, it'd be my youngest one because she's always been more connected to the magic, but she never said anything.
Okay.
But my youngest will say things that I'm thinking sometimes, or things that
Yeah.
I've had thoughts about or experiences, and I'm like,
That happened with my
hmm,
oldest. She would pull like sentences out of my head and just say them out loud. I'm like, that was what I was just thinking about. Okay.
be really careful what I think about now
Yeah,
because I'm not myself a mind reader.
I know.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
so fun.
it's it's yeah, it's amazing to look at. I'm glad that I can be there should anything happen, like should they want to
Yeah.
evolve it
Yeah.
or not,
Yeah.
whatever.
And the ages they are now, it's like they're just got to go through life right now and go be a kid and not they don't need to be wide
Yeah,
open during those ages. Like it's enough going on.
no, we know as well, like we're not always in control of when we're open and closed anyway. Like
Mhm.
sometimes you're just like, bam, you're open today, let's go. And you're like,
Yeah.
I'm not ready for this.
Did you do anything
Um,
to develop or to study? Like, are you into like reading? Like, I know you asked for like a pile of books, like on one of your posts recently, but like, did you like study Reiki or did you study like psychic development in like any type of training type of a way, or is it just
yeah.
experiential?
So I'm not really a bookworm.
Hmm.
Um, I get asked about books all the time.
Okay.
I can read, but I find it hard to absorb everything in a book. So
Hmm.
if I have books, I'll go back to them for reference, or my intuition telling me to go there, I'll open it and there'll be a bit in there for me
Right.
to read. Um, I am a qualified mindfulness teacher, um, and I'm qualified to level two Reiki. I've
Okay.
done lots of different training and things, and I think that's part of the journey of when you start to connect with your gifts. You want to try and find a route as to how you're going to connect with your magic and then how you can help others. So I think
Right.
it's quite common when people are kind of decided, oh, I could use it, or I could like apply myself in a way where using my magic, what road can I go to? And you'll quite often find
Yeah. It's
everyone does
just
the same
something
kind of
open it so you can access your own magic, basically. It's just,
100%.
yeah, it gives you permission to play in that space, but really it's,
Yeah,
you'll be guided,
yeah.
you know. And I always tell
And
that to
Reiki's
people about,
quite good.
what's that?
Reiki's quite good because it's so accepted
Hmm.
by
Yeah.
so many different, religions and cultures. And in the UK, I think, I don't know if you can still now, but it used to be like on our NHS to get Reiki as well for health and wellness
Oh, really?
benefits.
That's awesome. Not
Yeah.
here, not in America. But
No.
when I was first, like, it's funny because I was just rereading my old journals, and in it I talked about I wanted to learn Reiki when I was like 22, and I forgot that I even wanted to learn it then. I was in massage school and stuff, but then I learned craniosacral, and that opened me up to like the subtle energies so much that my intuition got really loud, and I started to really follow it and listen. And then I took a class called theta healing, and in that you learn about limiting beliefs and like where they originate from, whether it's this life, another life, ancestors, whatever. So that was like really, really wide open for me. Like it opened me right up. And I was like, how am I supposed to like bring all of that to like my massage clients? Like that's such a big leap. And then I was like, maybe I should learn Reiki as just a practical way,
Mm.
because people have heard of Reiki. So I learned Reiki kind of just to check a box so I can deliver the esoteric to people in a way. And then it really did impact me, and I teach it now. I didn't think it would be so impactful. I just kind of took it because I was like, well, this is a word people know. So it's a good gateway for people to like tap into the subtle realms and to trust your intuition, and to the different experiences you have when you're on a Reiki table don't make sense in the regular 3D world. Like people see colors or they feel energies or whatever. So that's what I really like about opening that up for people. And after I took Reiki 2, I started picking up on spirits. And then someone's like, oh, yeah, that can happen after Reiki 2. And I was like, no one told me that. Like, all of a sudden, I'm like, I feel like your grandma's here. And I like that wasn't something I had access to before that. So I think that my own upbringing, like I kind of had it all closed off just out of fear, you know, um but or maybe just like subtle things I absorbed through just living in life, that it wasn't something I could do. It was something I was interested in, but not something I could do. And then all of a sudden it was something I could do. So it's and then people give you more credit than you think you deserve, and you're like, I don't really know what I'm doing. They're like, but you're saying the stuff that makes sense. I'm like, but I don't even know what I'm talking about. So,
Literally a line I say all the time. I have no idea.
I
I have
know.
no idea how I do what I do. I just know I can do what I do. Okay.
Yeah.
I just know. And it's really interesting you talked about the spirit realm and Reiki because I've had some huge experiences so I'd use Reiki as like a foundation of what I was doing, but I'd be weaving in my magic as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that I'd be doing because it was almost like when I did energetic work, like I felt that the energetics would move and they'd be guiding me and telling me, and I'd be having conversations. But the spirit realm would come in really closely and very clearly. And I'd always wondered that, I don't know what you think, it's because the client is open to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're open and they're trusting and their boundaries have come down and their frequency has changed
Mm-hmm.
and they're allowing because I've had some I won't share them because they're quite personal to them, but I've had some wild experiences which I remember once having to sit down after and going, excuse me. And it was someone's story that I had no idea of, but it's
Right.
like played out around them.
Yeah.
It was so deep and so rich, and it enforced a lot in me as well. So, do you think it's because they go into this different trust mode, perhaps openness,
And that's
the
so
place we're
humbling
creating?
for
Yeah,
us that they are in that receptive place of allowing that. Like there really is such a humility in giving that work to others, and like, wow, they trust me, and it's just so sacred and so sensitive. So yeah, it must just be that they're more open to receiving it, so it steps forward, and you're the conduit. So you know and I never tell people I'm a medium outright, because I don't want people to expect that of me. But I always say, if there's a spirit that's determined to get a message across, they will they will tell me. They'll find their
I
way.
yeah, I learned that the hard way. I know I got psychic medium in like my title, but I've learned not to put medium on anything because that's
Hmm.
the word that people home in on is
Yeah.
medium.
Yeah.
It's something that people are very curious of. So if I when I do readings, I'll say I always sense a spirit that's closer. Um, whether how much information they're going to give me, I can't tell you. But there's times I can tell you male or female, or they give me more. Um, and I've learnt very early on not to open up with that because people anchor into it, and also it can bring fear because you've probably experienced as well. There are people in the spirit realm who people don't want to have connection with, and
Oh,
you can
yeah.
sense it.
Well, my one of my first experiences with that was a guy who seemed like a recovering alcoholic, or like maybe an active alcohol, but like either way, he was crossed over, and he was kind of like, had like that heavy energy, and like like deeply wrinkles in his brow, and like wringing his hands, and like a bowed head in apology and in shame or something. And he was just basically saying, tell her I'm sorry. And I was like, okay. So I said, I think your dad, came through. I described him. He's saying he's sorry. And she's like, well, he better be. And I was like, okay. Like, not trying to, like peel back too much here. But,
Yeah,
sometimes people aren't ready for that. So yeah,
no.
I don't want to be responsible for somebody latching on or wanting something so much that like it just I get the fluffy grandma instead of like the issue that they were trying to address, or whatever it is.
Oh, I tell you what, grandmas come through more than anything else. Like
Yeah.
it's always about they're not eating, they're not looking after themselves, they know better. They don't like their partner. They know it
Right.
wouldn't like them. Like grandmas just come through with an earful. They're like, you tell them, you tell, and they're like this. Like you use your finger. They are not happy. You know how to cook. You know her recipes. You better start making them. I
Hmm.
often get selectives of grandmas. But going back to what you're saying about energetics coming in, the spirit realm coming in, who no, they're not. I tend to sense them and I'll stop them and I'll go, I have got a male presence. I've stopped them. And they're like, yeah, I don't want that. Because sometimes it's like my alarm goes off.
Yeah.
Like this might not be a conversation that's ready to be had.
Hmm. Hmm.
However, I have got this person here. But mediumship's such a sensitive topic. And I think I'm sure we spoke about it. The spirit realm is not a realm you want to spend a lot of time within. You don't want to be open to the spirit realm all the time. You don't want to you delve in, you connect, you come out again. You
Hmm.
It's something that a lot of people want to gain the ability for, have grow and be able to do because it's a fascinating and it can be a big money maker as well.
Hmm.
But there's a it's not without sacrifice
Yeah.
in working in those realms all the time because of the energy that moves in and around and between. Um, so I'll never say yes to a mediumship reading. I'll say no.
Right.
I won't just do pure mediumship. Not because of that, because I there's more that I need to say than just what your great uncle has to come through. It's always about what you need. They'll come to me, and you probably have the same. What should I do about this? Well, I don't know about that, but I can tell you what you need right now.
Right. And like, isn't it kind
That's
of
how you
like
work in.
denser? Like the energy of crossed over people is a little bit denser than, you know,
Yeah,
connecting up higher.
it is. And I shared something recently. I said it's a really heavy crown, the mediumship one, to have. Because you have to know how to hold yourself, how to assert yourself, how to open, to disconnect, how to close down.
Hmm.
Um, and there are times it can be intimidating. Um, I just literally had this realization. I was like, oh my God, I'm talking on a podcast about mediumship. That's, do you see me just pause then? I was like, this is actually happening. But yeah, I've got my big girl witchy knickers on. It's I do also believe as well the spirit realm has connections to different energetic frequencies that can latch on. So it's one to be mindful of. If you delve in too deeply, you have to know how to bring yourself out
Yeah,
of
I,
it.
I can't say that I feel like I've ever gotten lost in that. Like it's so peripheral for me. It's not really the main
Mm.
thing I do, like
No.
It's just like I took a class on mediumship from a teacher, a friend of mine, a few years ago, and many years ago. And she was like, you just gotta like, you almost like interview them, like give me, three things, about yourself, how you died, your name, and like maybe a message or whatever it was. And one time I had a client who I knew her spouse had passed because I had seen her before and I made a note of it in my notes, but I didn't really, I didn't have any expectation. And I was working on her and he shows up right away. And he didn't show up the first time, but he showed up this time and he's just like, tell her I'm here. And I'm like, I don't want to bother her right now. She's getting a massage. And then he's like, and then he starts going, well, you got my name, you got my stature, and you know that I'm a funny guy. You got it because it was April Fool's Day, and that's like a prankster kind of thing. So it was really funny. And he was so insistent. And I was like, oh my God, like, and he was like, you got the three things, like you took the class, remember? And I was like, oh my God. And then eventually like something happened where she got disrupted from like the piece of the massage, like her arm got snagged on the sheet as I was like pulling it out. And he's like, tell her now. And I'm like, oh my God. So I did. And everything was really relevant. It was really funny. So it's like, if that needs to be told, it'll be told, but really, I'm not open for it. And like, um, I don't really get spooked out, like it's just more,
No.
it's just not. But there was like the ghost in my house when we first moved in, like me and my kids they were 8 and 10 at the time. And we all saw the same guy, we all knew who he was. He's from the 1930s. He had the vest that buttoned up high and, he smoked like a pipe. So it's so fun when you could validate it with other people. It's like an exciting thing. But yeah, I wouldn't want to swim in that all the time because it is draining also. So
It is. It's
yeah, it's not
draining.
something I'm not, it's not something I'm looking to like grow, but it grows with us because as
Mm,
we advance, our skills get bigger. So
yeah.
it'll happen. But yeah, it's not, I can't say I've
I
gotten
think
lost in it where I'm like, oh my God, like, like need help, which I'm sure is
it's an
potential.
honor to have in your path. Don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful,
Yeah.
honored position to be able to have that ability to bring forward that
Yeah.
those
And
messages.
it's
And
beautiful. And like it's like I always
so
talk about it as
beautiful.
being like a if you were to see a map with like an antenna or something like a
Yeah,
target, like a light of target, like the spirit
yeah.
knows where to find you and they'll be like, oh, you can deliver the message, I'm going to come to you. So I'll get the message, I'll be like, I'll tell my friend from like childhood, I'm like, your father-in-law came to me and she's like, how do you even remember who he is? And I was like, well, blah blah blah, like I knew how we were connected, so and he knew, and that's why he came to me. So
Oh my goodness. I've got a really close friend called Hayley, and her mum knew of me. She knew my gifts. Literally 2 days after she transitioned, I spoke to Hayley and I was telling her, well, okay, your mum's here. And I was trying to be really, her mum's just transitioned. This
yeah,
is so raw. But her mum at
delicate.
the same time was like, you tell her. Because she knew.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to her about your mum said about these necklaces. You and your sister need to wear these necklaces. She's like, I know what necklaces you mean. Yep. And then I was like, your mum was told me about things that are going to happen in your job, but I can't tell you now. The next time I was like, I can tell you now this is going to happen. And like all these different things, she
Yeah.
came straight in because she knew. And I think some of the best things that happen, like that in the supermarket, bus stops, school run's huge. Like some of the things that happen there in the conversations, and I have to go, well, I'm actually a little bit witchy. Your brother's here. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, sorry. And we'll go into, I think they're some of the most crazy things aren't when you're sat down at a table and someone's
Right.
planned this space and we're coming
Yeah.
together with candles and all looking magical.
Right.
It's like in the supermarket,
Yeah.
it's in the pharmacy, like spaces like that. And it's those old friends that you reach out to and you're like, oh, my spidey senses are going. And then you open it up and it's like,
I know. I remember when somebody in our town passed away and he was, like a friend's father and stuff. And it was like, he's like, get a pencil, like now. And I'm like, okay, okay. I grab a pencil, paper, write down the whole message to get to his wife. I'm like, all right. I just love it. I love to be used in that way for sure. It's very
I
special.
do. I have like two people come to me with two train of thoughts about boundaries and when you work with spirit and being open and closed. And I'm quite well aware of that. I've always had spirit come to me at night. That's how they've always done it. They know not to jump scare me now. And they know not to because they get a few swear words thrown. I'll quite often get whispers, Okay, and I'll go back to sleep, and I'll remember them as soon as I wake up. They're there.
Hmm.
Um, I'm very open to connection. It does
Right.
depend on where I am energetically, hormonally, where I am, all these different ways as to how open I am, how much of the 3D chaos
Right.
is taking up my brain, because of how I feel things. I haven't been diagnosed, but I know I'm autistic as well. So how I feel this, having to do, jobs, school run, shopping, tidying, all these different things can feel so huge. It
Yeah.
takes up too much space. But I love that I can just be walking through a space and I can feel those
Hmm.
messages come in. And not all of them are, hardly any of them are put forward.
Right.
Um, but I think that's such a blessing. It's an honor, isn't it? It really is an
Yeah.
honor.
Yeah. I know. And it's like, I'm not seeking it. It finds me. But what's your favorite way to work? Do you like doing the energy, like the distance healing kind of work the most? Or if you, not that you have to rank it, but like, because the way when you tuned in, so Amy did my energy like 10 days ago or whatever, and the way you drew it out, like I actually don't draw it out in that particular way, but it's exactly how I see it. And like looking at the silhouette and looking at the chakras. So it's fun that you draw it too. And sometimes when I do draw out some of the chakras, how I'm seeing them, just so the client understands. Like I'll see the chakra and I'm interpreting it because of how it looks. Or sometimes I'll hear a whole sentence, or it'll introduce the whole story just by its image or whatever. But it's nice to have like the picture to go with it. So I thought it was fun that you drew, you know. So like, oh yeah, my client today, like, was it today? Yeah, I don't know, maybe yesterday. I saw a like the root chakra was like spiky. Yeah, it was yesterday. And it's
Mm.
because she's not, she's settling into the new routine of school like everybody is. And then, there's a restlessness right now because she's like itching for more. So like her root was like, it almost looked like a sea urchin, with like the points. But like, so it's fun. So you see the images of the chakras too, like in like you might see a different shade of green or a different or viscosity or whatever.
See, yeah, so I think me drawing it is how, because if not, I don't know about you, readings are in one ear and out the other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's being able to hold
It
that
holds it
body of
in. Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
And it's also a way of me, and also all that I'm working with and all that's working with me gets me to concentrate, is if I get my pen and paper out, I am there, I am present, and I am so open to receiving.
Mm-hmm.
So I draw out the energetic body that tells me a lot about where you are in life, what your hands are doing, what your legs are doing, where
Mm-hmm.
we're moving, what we're working with. Sometimes the hands will cover different part of the body. It's like if I was to draw out perhaps the soul, what the soul's telling me, that
Yeah.
energetic form. I don't know about you. I suppose I used to see it when I did energy work for people. Their arms would be down, but energetically there'd be an arm out. Like I could sense that.
Yeah.
I then work through the chakras from crown to root. They all tell me a lot. What I see around the crown, from the crown outwards, tells me a lot about your magic,
Mm-hmm.
the way that you connect with all
Yeah.
that. Um, and that can come in an array of different. I've learned so much from opening my books again recently as to how everyone's so different, but there are different pockets. So like there's the star babes, there's the sea babes, there's the witches, and all different variation of the witches. There's those who connect energetically, and for those who are just cosmic, there's different brackets of energetics. And I can see the chakras in different shapes, but it's almost like they tell me a story.
Right.
So I'll be like, okay, so I see, quite often I see like the heart. The heart will show me if there's been bruising.
Mm-hmm.
The heart will show me that if there's a shield over it. And I'm quite careful with my words as to how I
Yeah.
put this across. I want to put it across authentically, but I
And
want
not
to
in a way
also,
that's going to damage them. And yeah, you have to say it in a nice
in
way.
a way, yeah, because do you know how many people, and you probably had the same, oh yeah, I've got a really blocked up root chakra. And
They
I'm like, it's
hold
not
on to
yours.
the words and you're like, don't give that much power to other people. I know the lady yesterday, she's like, so did any of my chakras seem blocked? And I go, I'll never tell anybody that they have a blocked chakra. Like I just don't. I'll be like, well, this one's a little funky because of this or that. But like it's not.
I'll go, this one's funky. This one's getting my attention
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
I did a reading for some. I'm literally everyone's gonna be my best friend now. That's just how it goes. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
right? It happens. And I said, well, your heart's got this shield over it. And she went, oh gosh. And I went, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. Your
Right.
heart's protecting itself. It is not going to let anyone come into this space unless it's deserved, unless they've earned it, unless you are comfortable.
Right.
Because we all learn life the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
Another person would have picked that up as blocked. And
Right.
I'm like, no,
Yeah.
we need to have these boundaries in. She leads with her heart forward. It's
Yeah.
beautiful, it's bountiful, it's glorious, and she's the most amazing soul. But you're like, actually, not everyone gets to go into the inner mirrors of the heart unless I've
Mm-hmm.
given you permission to. And we've got that mutual razzle
Yeah.
dazzle connection.
Right.
Um, and that's how I see a lot of things. I've picked up a lot in the root, and I've even had my own. I've had friends come and do readings for me. There's a lot going on in the root chakras at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that's because there's lots of elevation, lots of movement, lots of unease, lots of different stuff. But the yeah, I pick up different visuals, different shapes. Sometimes I get sentences. Sometimes it's like they're telling me what to pass on. I
Yeah.
need this, I need that. Um, and then I write down different notes as to also the colors that I connect with as I go into the reading as well, which I think I
Mm-hmm.
did for you. I can't remember what color I had, but there's part of my getting ready, getting myself into the right state, frequencies, whatever you want to say, is I take off my energetics, like my
Yeah.
my cloak, and I put on like my witchiness. And whatever cloak I put on, it's always a different color for each person,
Oh,
or
cool.
a different texture, or a different pattern. I'm very visual
Right.
like that.
Right. Right.
So when I do get words, I'm like, oh my God, I got this name come through. And if it's the right, I'm like,
Oh, yesterday, me and my mentor, like she's like one of my best friends, but she started out as a mentor, and we were on the phone, and she was telling me insights that she got of something where I had told her about a past life where I was in a red cloak. Oh, she was interested in the red ribbon, that you saw the red ribbon. She's like, I think that's a past life thing for you. And then she was looking into the red cloaks and somehow was led to the druids and the meaning of all of that. And while she was, and like the how each color cloak in the druid world meant different kind of specialty. And I forget what she said the red was, but it was like, I think it was like being like a fierce like advocate, like speaking up or something. I don't remember. um but it was just, oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. It was just like really cool because I don't know. I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, it's gone.
you're fine.
Um,
I just need to doodle down, look up druid cloaks because I have
yeah,
no
it
idea
was.
about that.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. So while she was talking about the red cloaks, I see the word Kaliok or in my head, like Kaliok or something like that. And I looked it up online because I knew it, but I didn't know even how it was spelled. And it had to do with like a goddess of winter. And like I was talking about with work, how for most of us in the witchy world, like this is our season, like the dark part of the year. And that's what Kali Lock was all about, was like, from Samhain to Beltane. And that's like her time of year. And then all of the many things that went with that. Like, I don't remember everything else that I read, but it was so cool because it was all tied to because of the red ribbon thing that you told me about that I
Yeah,
had, between my head and neck. Yeah.
yeah.
And
I've got
also
it
the
in my
veil.
books.
And you talked about wearing the veil, like doing, wearing a scarf. And I think that's what also Kali Lock had to say. It was crazy. It was all just crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like Callieach. I think is how it's spelled. And I just
I
got like
have
a rush
worked with
of dizziness, so I guess we're on to something.
have you worked with deities or goddesses and stuff like that?
I've had
Energetics
them
like that.
I've had them come up where like there's like a theme. Like I keep like Artemis was like on repeat for a while, like different things like that where they come up on repeat, but I haven't done, like, my niece is into more of the witchcrafty stuff where she like will do an altar to them and have certain things laid out, but I haven't gotten into that type of practice.
No.
But I do call on
I've
them. I
sensed
feel them, like I know they're around. Like they'll be like, okay, Hecate's around.
like I've felt literal presences come in the room. Not
Mm-hmm.
even I to be fair, I didn't even believe in working with deities until I experienced one coming into the space.
Mm-hmm.
Hecate was one of them.
Yeah.
Um and I also no there was I went through a real rough patch last year and I had a guide come forward called Danu, and I think that she's a goddess
Hmm.
as well. Somebody looked into it and gave me information about it, but I had no idea. She just told me her name, and she just walked in.
Yeah.
And I would have, I did not believe in that kind of energetic feeling or connection until I experienced it
Right.
myself, and I was like, shit, there's something here.
That
There's
was so last year I did a sound healing at like right before Halloween. It wasn't because of Halloween, just where it landed, but like it was so fun because I had two women right by the front door. One of them is gifted but freaked out by it, not really into studying it, and then the other is like all about it. And they both reported on the same feelings, and the one was telling the story through a fear lens and the other was telling it through like the starry-eyed lens, and they both felt Hecate show up, and Hecate laughed and she was standing in the corner like she was just like joyfully there, but the girl's like, and then I heard her laugh, the other girl's like, and then she laughed, like it was just so funny how they both told the same story, so yeah, I haven't made a practice of like doing more with them other than just being like, I know they're here, so
I'm very, if they're here for this chapter, they're here for this chapter. That's I'll
mhm,
work with, I'm open with, but quite often it's literally for pockets of time of
mhm,
coming and going. And I think that might be to do with various things in ourselves awakening as well, that frequency
mhm,
that we're putting out and we're attracting, that path we're walking.
mhm.
Um, I'm very open to that.
Yeah,
I know there'd be loads that I wouldn't even have words or knowings of, just I can sense certain things which aren't spirit, which aren't like energetics of physical things like trees or spaces, but I know that there's something else and I have like a lot more of a fuller bodied presence. Does that make sense? They're like a
some kind of earth spirits.
earth spirits and things like that. Yeah, they're like a scented candle, but the candles are like a beautifully like the aromas fill everything. Does that
Mhm.
make sense? It's like the air becomes thicker. You're
Right.
like, oh, what's going on here? Like, what's happening?
Have you connected to like the land of like the property of your the boundaries of your property because there's like a guide in each corner? Have That's something
I
you can.
haven't heard of that, but the first thing I did was to connect with and put protection around.
Yeah.
Because I have experienced things wanting to come and knock on my door, not physical people, because I'd soon tell them to go away, away. But energetic forms, and I've had to hoik that up sometimes as well.
Yeah, I know. Every now and then you're like, oh, that's right. I haven't cleared and protected my space because you feel like almost like people are like glomming and like looking.
At the windows, or like, hey, I think my dinner, leave
I'm
me
like, oh,
alone.
that's right. Go.
Oh, yeah,
Welcome.
I close this down. I stop now. Goodbye. Yeah, I've had that a few times, and that's why I always preach about bringing it back to the basics of like grounding, protection, anchoring.
Hmm.
We need to weave that in regularly, because if not, you have people looking in your windows and can't watch TV because they're talking.
You know,
Um,
just
yeah,
a
it's
reminder for energetic hygiene for your home, for your space, for
yeah,
I know.
just you're getting out and grounding a lot in nature is so important for us. Like
Yeah,
so important.
I know. I'm a
Um,
Taurus, so I'm like super, earthy.
yeah.
And it's so important. It's so important. And I don't care how crazy I look. Like I'll hug trees, and you feel their energy. It's like,
I, I hug me a tree all the time. I've got a favorite. I've got a little woodland near me, and I have names for quite a few trees. And if I bring a friend, I'm like, "Oh, that's the old man and his dog," and they're like, "What?" So look at it from the side. It looks like an old man and a dog. And this is the hugging tree, and this is the tree. And I have names for all these different ones. There's like little portals and places. They're like, "You need to get out more." I do, just to the woods. That's where
yeah,
I go.
it's a good thing.
Find me.
So fun. Is there anything that you want to like share? Because like, oh, it's already been almost an hour.
I know. We were like, it's gonna be half an hour. It's gonna be really chill, really quick.
I hope people found
Um,
it interesting to listen.
yeah, I'm sure they will. And it's been a real great opportunity to share this space. I suppose I want to encourage the belief in magic
Yeah.
of who you are and that there is more to it all. And it can feel really daunting, but you can be free. And um, there's a saying, I was saying, I'm going to say, I say it all the time. I say toes in the earth, chin
Hmm.
up, wings in the air,
Hmm.
as an anchor to myself. Because obviously, every time I'm making a video or any content, I'm looking at myself. I'm
Yeah.
looking at me as I create it as well. It's to me as well.
Right.
But I hope that whoever listens to this,
Hmm.
I hope they find the courage to walk the earth and how they want to walk the earth,
Hmm.
to have their chin held high because they can embrace themselves and their wings out so they can connect how they want to connect. And that I know how hard it can be, but you're worth it. You're worth it. And you fucking shine. And that's that. That's
Yeah.
that's what I want to leave on.
And
And
I like the way you do with the wings up because that's how they feel. Like when they go up like that. It's not like they're like here, they're like this.
wings up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had so many channelings about wings. But it's that holding space. It's like that surrendering, but that holding, that connection, that just I'm me, I'm here. Um, it's not easy to get to that space, and there's like lots of hokey cokey on the way there. We go back and forth,
But it's the
but
back of the
you're
heart
well.
chakra. Our wings are the back of our heart chakra. And you could use the wings if you were able to visualize and tap into them to clear your energy, to also protect your energy, kind of close them in front of you.
100%. I've written a poem about that, about how when your wings come close, and they're like come close and they close you in,
Hmm.
and you almost feel held by them.
Yeah.
Um, there's loads of different stages as how you can work with the your toes, your heart space,
Hmm.
your projecting up. It's
Yeah.
really important if you're looking down, your vibes down, you want your
Yeah.
this
Keep the
up.
throat.
And there's so much to it. And I'm finding out more and more every frigging day as well.
One of the first
I
times I
just
did like that, it's like, I'm like, they're like, feel how high they go. I was like, holy shit, they like reached the ceiling and beyond.
if people actually took time to
Yeah.
like connect with that space and
Hmm.
how that space is, and everyone's wings can be different. Like, however you want your wings to look, let them look how they want to look.
Right.
Just don't hold them back. Like, see
Yeah.
if you can feel them out. If you need to
Hmm.
hold more space in a room, get your wings out. Like,
Yeah.
if you need to have more security, bring them in, or just like if you're on a packed bus, just be like this. Get away from me. Like, my bubble. Get out. You can have them just around your auric field. Like there's a way that you can expand your auric field before you walk into space, so your energy is kind of neutralizing it or taking it up. Or do you know what
Hmm.
I do before you walk in? Do that with your wings.
I
Like I'm
did that.
coming.
It was such a funny, a few years ago, I went to some networking event and I was nervous about going because I don't really like doing networking events. But before, and it was a women's thing. So I was like, oh, it's at least it's like, it's all women. But before I walked there, because it wasn't far from here. And on the way there, I called in like all of the goddesses to surround me. And, um, and everyone introduced themselves one at a time. And when I introduced myself, after I finished, everyone clapped. Got an applause. It was so, I felt very much surrounded by the goddess. I was like,
Wings up. Like my name's
oh,
Amy.
it's crazy.
Odd curtsy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's so
I
fun.
love it. We could literally talk for hours about this stuff, couldn't we?
Yeah, it's awesome. So thank you for spending some time. And if people don't already follow you, they should because you're just like such a breath of fresh air, so fun and just helpful. Like it takes courage to put yourself out there, even though you might not even realize it because you're doing it all the time now. But like even still, like it so many people relate to it, but so many people are so repressed or held back or whatever. So it's like you just being you gives so many more people permission to be themselves. So that's really nice. It's a bigger service than you even realize, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm starting to realize that.
Now that you've got
And
like, I remember you posted 13,000 followers, and like the next time I looked, it was like 15, and now you said it's 17. I'm like, holy crap, it's crazy.
I'm just going for it, babes. Like I said, I don't know where this is going to take it, and I find I get scared all the time.
Right. It is
But
scary.
I'm holding it. I'm trying to hold it differently.
Right. You grow with
Um,
it. Yeah.
I'm growing with it. I'm like, I feel you, but actually, this is part of my purpose. This is definitely my tribe.
Hmm.
Like these are my people.
Yeah.
I see them and they can see me. Do you know the amount of times I'll put a video up and somebody will like, "What's up with you? What's going on? What's happening?" And I'm like, "Which? They know. What's up today? I feel your energy's a bit lower, Amy. Do you need a hug?" And I'm like, "This was like chaos this morning." And I was like, took me ages to process it. And then I get messages and I just, yeah, I'm starting. There's a purpose and there's importance to it. And that's what drives me through the fear, through
Right.
anything. And the more that I do it, the more palatable it's becoming.
Right.
Um, and yeah, I still have times where I go post and I go,
I know. Oh God.
but I you can't burn the fire, you can't be burnt by fire when you are the fire. And that's what I want to become.
I love it. That's what, yeah, that's what we're
You
reclaiming
for
in this.
being you.
Thank you.
You, Mrs. Thank you for being who you are.
Right.
If you're a firehouse, you're just like you're amazing. You really are.
Thanks.
And the work you do is so needed and so precious. So we just keep raising that magic.
And like you said, when we had our call, like all the lone wolves are finding each other. And it's like, it's really fucking awesome. Like, what a great pack.
So many lone wolves.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wish I could just somehow create a community like in the middle. We can all just come and like, because we want our space to ourselves as well. But we can meet in the middle sometimes.
Right.
Socialize a little bit, then retreat back to the woods. But like all these lone wolves who are like become so independent and walk in their path.
Hmm.
And they're like, oh, and there's no like intimidation or like, do you know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
I see you. And I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, I see you too. Okay, let's
Right.
keep going.
Right. Exactly. I know.
Love that. I love it so much. It's so beautiful. It really is.
It's awesome. It's like been a long time coming, lifetimes. So it's like, thank goodness we found each other now.
Yeah. I think I don't know who does. I think is it Rumi, the quote, "We're all just walking each other home" or something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that saying because we can get so lost in life.
Yeah.
So lost. And we get lost in how other people tell us we should be living or telling us who we are or how we should be, that we
Hmm.
become so detached. And actually, deep down, we're just magical motherfuckers who need to let go of a lot of stuff and just let it out, right?
Big amen.
Amen.
Well, thank you so much. And people can find you at that witchy one, right? That witchy one, Amy.
That's literally one underscore Amy Smith.
Okay, underscore.
Um, yeah,
Very,
I'm somewhere on there. Come find me.
yeah. I'll do what I can to share all that shit. So
That's fine. And I'll share it too.
thank
It's
you.
been a blessing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care. See
Bye
you
bye.
later.
Thanks.